Hi, this is Seema and I'm back with a new lesson on multiple meaning phrasal verbs. Well, we all know what phrasal verbs are, right? Phrasal verbs are verbs used with a preposition to give you the meaning of a certain word or to explain something as an expression in English, right? So, do you know some phrasal verbs have multiple meanings? So you can have one phrasal verb, but it can mean a lot of different things depending on the way you use it, right? So this lesson is going to really improve the way you speak if you use your phrasal verbs in the right way, okay? So the first very common expression using the phrasal verb take off, the first meaning for that would be when an airplane, or a plane for that matter, goes off the ground into the air. This is probably the most common meaning of take off that you may have come across, okay? So you say that your plane is going to take off at exactly 2 minutes past 7 in the morning. That means your plane is going to go off the runway, go off the ground into the air. That's the first meaning of take off, okay? What is the other meaning of take off? It could mean many things, as we already agreed upon, right? So take off could also mean when something increases in popularity. Okay, so some things, you know, they get introduced and immediately it picks up in popularity. It becomes very popular. So for example, you could say something like Nicki Minaj, her new video really took off in just a few weeks' time. So in a few weeks' time, maybe, you know, there were a lot of people buying her CDs, a lot of people watching her videos. So her video really took off, meaning it really increased in its popularity. The next meaning of take off, or another way you could use this phrasal verb, is when you are indicating that you want to remove any part of your clothing off a person's body. So I can say, take off your jacket, okay? Take off your shoes, take off your watch, take off your t-shirt. So take off is, you know, an expression you will use when you want to tell someone or you want to say that you want to remove clothing from a person's body, okay? And the next one is to take a leave or to leave a place. That is to physically leave a place. So this is an informal way of saying it, okay? This is an informal way. You will not use it in, you know, in a business meeting. So when you're at a friend's house, when you want to leave your friend's house, you can say, okay, I'm going to have a cup of tea and just take off. That's an informal way of putting it. But if you're in a meeting, then you might not want to say that. You can't say, okay, I'm going to take off now. You don't say that in a formal setting, okay? This is an informal way to say that you are leaving a particular place, okay? And another, you know, meaning for take off could also be that you are, you know, you are going to stop studying or perhaps working for a period of time. Just for a period of time. So maybe you've had a baby and you couldn't continue your studies, right? So you say that I took off from studying for a while because I had a baby last summer. Or I took off from working for a while because I got married last year. So when you stop a course of studies, or you stop going to work because of a certain reason. You have taken off. You have kind of stopped doing it for a short period of time. Okay. Now, I hope you are clear with this expression. Okay. I'm going to deal with the second phrasal verb, which is very important as well, and which you are going to use every day. This one's pass out. Pass out. Okay. Well, pass out has got two meanings, really. Okay. The first one is to distribute, or you can call it to give away. Okay. So, for example, you go to a mall and you see these people who work in the marketing department. They are distributing flyers or distributing leaflets, to promote their products. So what are they doing? They are passing out their products. Or you can say something like, the teacher passed out the question papers to her students 5 minutes before the examination was about to begin. So that's distributing or giving away something. Okay, that's what it means. The second way you could use the word pass out is when you are talking about someone who is going to go unconscious, or someone who is, almost going to faint. Okay, so you can say that. All right, so you can say that she was so scared that she passed out when she saw the man, with an axe. So you pass out when you are scared, when you are nervous, or sometimes you may pass out because you have a medical condition or an unfit medical condition. Okay, so that's the two ways you will use this very common phrasal verb, which is pass out. And the next phrasal verb, very common, is bring up. Okay, now bring up also has two main meanings. Okay, the first one is to raise a child. Okay, so your parents bring you up. Now please be advised that bring up is very different from grow up, because grow up means that you physically grow up as a person, you become more mature. But bring up basically means to educate a child, you care for the child, you nurture the child, and you teach them good or appropriate behavior. Okay, so you teach them appropriate behavior. That is why we say that our parents have brought us up very well, which means they have raised us very well. They have given us an education, they have cared for us, they have nurtured us, and they have taught us to behave appropriately. The other meaning of bring up would mean to introduce a topic into a discussion or into any kind of conversation. Okay, so your boss is talking to you about work. Now you are a little scared about introducing the topic of your leaves. You've got to go for a vacation to, say, France for 10 days. There is a lot of work, but you want to bring up or, kind of sneakily introduce the topic of your leaves into that conversation. So bringing up is nothing but, just putting in another topic while you are discussing something totally different. Okay. The next one is to take out. Take out has a couple of meanings too. A very common phrasal verb. The first meaning of take out could be to remove something from a particular place. So I can tell, someone like, take out the garbage and put it in, in the bin. So I'm removing something from a particular place. Or I can say, take out the dishes from from the table, so just remove it from there and put it in the cupboard or put it in the cabinet, for example. Okay, that's what take out means. Take out can also mean to invite someone on a social encounter. Now this could be a romantic social encounter or a non-romantic social encounter. So I can say that I took out the kids to lunch on Sunday, which means it was a social encounter. We had to go out, we had to socialize, me and my children. So I took them out for lunch on Sunday. If it is a romantic encounter, you can say that Timothy took out Jane for the first time last evening. That was supposed to be a social encounter. Now when you are doing the taking out, you are the one who normally pays the bills for the expense that you are going to incur while you are taking someone out. And the last meaning of take out is basically to borrow. So you could borrow say books from a library, or you could borrow money from the bank. So you take a loan out. Okay, so I can say I took out a loan to buy a new mobile phone, which I actually ended up doing. You won't believe it. So you take out or you borrow something, or you could say that please help me take out 2 books, so you are at the library and you want to borrow 2 books. After reading, you're going to give them back. So taking out also means to borrow something, maybe books or money. Okay, well, that's it from me on this lesson on multiple meanings of different phrasal verbs. I hope you found them interesting and informative. I'll be back with some more lessons. Until then, this is me saying goodbye.